Good morning, God. Glenda's letting me do another sermon, and I'm so excited. It's always pretty scary trying to share your message, but I keep reminding myself that it's your message and not mine, and I just need to open my heart and mind, and you'll tell me what to say. I set aside the whole day to work on this, and I'm happy that we're going to have so much time together. You know, Lord, I'm really getting a lot out of that Brother Lawrence book I'm reading, Practice of the Presence of God. This simple little book by a French monk in the 1600s sure has a powerful message. Brother Lawrence taught himself to be aware and connected to your presence all the time, and in everything he did out of love for you. I really like the part where he said he could do something as simple as picking up a piece of straw from the ground for love of you. I don't really know what that would be like, but my heart cried out yes when I read that. I hope reading this book and trying to be like Brother Lawrence will help me learn to be in your presence more, instead of thinking about you at church or when I pray, but otherwise forgetting about you as I go through my day. Well, okay, let's get started working on that sermon. God, please give me ears to hear. Open up my heart. What is it that our church most needs to hear? What message will further your mission and kingdom? How do we need to grow? Gosh, God, I guess I shouldn't have started out thinking about this book, because now I can't seem to put it aside and focus on the sermon. Let's try that again. Oh, I think I know what the problem is, God. I forgot to tell you that I need to do a sermon about mission. Glenda and I agreed that this would be a sermon about mission, not about remaining in your presence and learning to do all things out of love for you. Colin's already picked out all the songs. They're all about mission, so give me ears to hear about mission. Let's try again. God, I don't think you're listening to me. Maybe Glenda will give me another opportunity to preach about remaining in your presence, but this one is about mission. Mission and service are so important for us to grow in our love of you and our love of the neighbor. You've given me such a heart for mission. A month or so ago, you convicted me so much about the importance of mission that I begged Glenda to let me preach about it next time she was going to be out of town. Surely there must be a message about mission that you want me to give. One more time. I see. I'm the one who's not listening, huh? I'm forgetting that whole you are God and I am not thing again. Ugh. Okay, let's start again. What message do you want me to bring to your people? I remember Brother Lawrence says that learning to converse with you continually, doing everything we do for you, requires some effort, but that it results in a life of perfect freedom and continual joy. What a beautiful phrase. I know that the times I feel like I'm really connected to you and doing something out of love for you have been my most joyful times, but I sure can't maintain it for very long. I think that's why I like our morning walk and pray time when I actually get out of bed to do it. Walking along and talking to you about spiritual things like a Bible verse that doesn't make sense to me, or why I've been so short-tempered lately, or what the next Exploring Christianity video should be about, that's wonderful. But I also like just sharing with you what's going on in my life. It's great that I can talk to you about what I need to do to get my team working together better, or how to spend more time outside this summer. And maybe the best part is just being with you in silence while we walk, being fully aware that you are with me. Having that dedicated time with you with no distractions lets me practice just being with you. But then when I start getting ready for my day and working, I tend to forget all about you. I'm glad that I formed the habit of saying a quick prayer of thanks when I eat meals, because it reminds me to be in your presence again, at least for a moment or two during the day. Brother Lawrence said he would begin his job by saying, "Oh my God, since you are with me and I must now, in obedience to your commands, apply my mind to these other things, I pray you will grant me the grace to continue in thy presence. Please prosper me with your assistance, receive all my work, and possess all my affections." I like that. The way he acknowledged that he needed to focus on other things, work that you gave him to do, but asked to continue to be in your presence and that you help him with that work and that you receive his work as a sign of his love for you. I should really start doing that when I start my work day. So when, other than our morning walks, am I most aware of your presence? Well, recently I think it would be when I teach that GED math class. I want so badly to help these people overcome the huge obstacle that being undereducated can be. It closes doors to so many opportunities, but I feel so inadequate. I mean, professional, trained teachers were not able to help them learn all the math they needed, working with them every school day for 12 years. How am I going to help them? I know that the only way that I can succeed is to lean on you in a serious way. I'm aware of your presence a lot when I teach because I know that the only way I can help my neighbors is if you help me. I remember how early on I thought it would be better if I donated some money to the program instead of teaching, hoping that they could hire a professional math tutor who knew what they were doing. Just sending money seemed to make more sense. I'm glad I didn't do that, since you've showed me that shining your light for them, showing them your love and mine, showing them that they're beloved children of God actually seems to help them learn more than the tutoring. So many of them have been told throughout their lives in one way or another that they're worthless, and helping them see how precious they are is the first obstacle to overcome. And by being in your presence while I teach, I've learned a little bit to see those students through your eyes and have learned to love them. That reminds me of how Glenda told us that love for you and love for our neighbors is kind of like a wagon wheel. You are the center, the hub. We're one of the spokes, and our neighbors are the others. If we move along the spoke closer to you, we also grow closer to our neighbors at the same time. And if we grow closer to our neighbors, we grow closer to you. For me, serving my neighbors definitely draws me into your presence and closer to you and increases my love for my neighbors at the same time. It's funny how much of a difference keeping firmly in mind that I'm serving out of love for you and love for my neighbors has made for me. At first, I'd do service opportunities when they came up at church basically because I felt like I was obligated to do them. And sometimes I still didn't do them because I knew that they'd be dirty or sweaty or I'd have to do things I didn't really enjoy. But when I started doing them, keeping firmly in mind that I was in your presence and that you were with me and offering up what I was doing as a tribute of love to you, wow, my heart would just overflow with joy and love for you and the people I was serving. I found at VBS recently that there were moments I lost that and thought instead about being tired or frustrated with kids who just would not stay where they were supposed to be. But when I refocused on your presence and that what I was doing was out of love for you, everything came flooding back. You know the time I stayed in your presence the most? It was when I used to go on those annual week mission trips to the children's home with my last church. There's something miraculous that happens when you spend day and night in your presence, serving your children, surrounded by other believers who are doing the same thing. Even though the work was hard and the conditions were challenging, I've never felt so close to you or known so clearly that my deepest and truest joy comes from serving you. In fact, it was wonderful being so firmly and consistently in your presence that any physical discomfort or effort really didn't even register as being a big deal. Those trips sure permanently changed my relationship with the other people I went with from church. Through living together and working together and serving together, I grew to truly love them, even the ones that I didn't really like. You formed a bond between us and made us into a community. It's been years, but I still feel closer to the people I served with on these trips than I do most of the other people in my life. And what a powerful experience it was for the young adults who came on the trip. At that age, when they're growing into themselves and nearing a point where they'll be on their own for the first time, it had such a profound effect on them to be away from peer pressure and electronic devices and to just be immersed in you for a few days. Sure, they'd heard that the greatest joy comes from living with and for you, and maybe they'd even experienced it a little while now and then, but most of them had never had an experience like this. It gave many of them the armor of God and the shield of faith that would help protect them from the temptations they would face and guide them to life-giving decisions as they started their adult lives. Oh, and spending so much time deep in your presence sure helped us to open ourselves up to the Holy Spirit. I couldn't believe how on fire we all came back from those trips, especially the youth. Each year when we came home, we'd be all ramped up and eager to find other ways to serve. One Bible study group started making sandwiches and bringing them to the park across the street for the homeless. We organized a neighborhood event where we gave away backpacks full of school supplies for our neighbors. And the joy and the passion that those of us that went on the trip felt, it fed back and forth between us. Instead of the fire getting quenched when our day-to-day lives started back up again, we'd keep re-sparking it in each other because we had that to share. For months afterwards, I would feel closer to you and eager to serve. Lord, we really need to get back to having more service and mission events at Journey of Faith. I told Glenda that I'd try to start organizing them on a regular basis, but there always seems to be so much else that I need to do, and God, I'm not getting it done. I miss the passion and the joy that comes from serving my church. I miss the way it brings us together in love. This church is so wonderful and is filled with such strong people. I just know we could do amazing things if we would come together and get on fire for you, Lord. Please help me to find some service opportunities for our church. Help me to share with my church family how much service and mission has meant to me and how it will draw us closer together in your presence. Help me to tell them about the incredible mission experiences you've blessed me with. Inspire the members of our church to seek out service opportunities and suggest them to me so that we can find opportunities suited to all of us. Please, please set us on fire for you and your kingdom. I guess you gave me a sermon about mission after all. I thank you and I love you. And I've thoroughly enjoyed spending this time today in your presence. Please enable all of us to remain in your presence as we go out into our day and inspire us to come together as a church in mission and in service. In Jesus' name.